This past weekend, there were some accidents, and you say it really goes down to common sense.
In most of these cases, this past weekend we had several car accidents throughout the county. One of them was quite serious, and we just want to remind motorists that take an extra minute. When you get to that stop sign or watch the speed limit. All these things, all these accidents surely could have been prevented if everyone just took an ounce of care when it comes to common sense things on the road. We remind people time and time again, and we realize that our lifestyles today are so much more hectic than they used to be. Yeah. And I think we, in time, society created that, but we have to remember that. There's lots of other motorists out on the road with us, and if there's a stop sign, make sure we look both ways a couple times before we go. Sometimes I feel foolish by saying this, but we see accidents that are caused by that, or the speed limit's there for a reason. Yeah. Or when you see that sign with a curve on it telling you to slow down coming up, it's there for a reason.
How many times do you see the accident has been caused because someone ran a red light or a stop sign? I find myself being overcautious sometimes when you come up, because if you come up to a stop sign and it's a four-way stop sign, the other person's going to stop.
Exactly.
But I still look now because I fear that maybe the other person's not going to stop.
And people, like I said, are so preoccupied with modern technology, and we're looking at things, and just to pay attention. I mean, even last week, the tragedy on Route 49 where there was a fatal car accident. But right after that accident happened, we had 4 other accidents that happened right in line there because folks weren't paying attention. They were coming up on that accident. Yes, you're on a 55-mile-an-hour roadway, but you still have to be aware of what's in front of you, and it's coming up fast when traffic stops.
It's interesting because I was just going to say, in some spots, that's 65 on 49.
That is correct, yes.
And one of the accidents recently was on Route 8, and when I was away, I was on 8 South, and it just blows my mind that the speed limit on 8 South is, in some areas, 55.
Yes.
And there are some curves that pop up on 8, which are like out of nowhere.
You're
it's
talking
like a
down
roller coaster
south
ride.
of New Hartford?
Yeah. And past Sequoia.
All the way down to Binghamton, to be honest.
Really?
It's just brutal all the way down.
It's a narrow road, and it's, 2 lanes of traffic. And so even in some cases, a lot of times I just wonder on these straightaways, 49 is an example, even the throughway is 65. I'm just kind of surprised sometimes that 8 is 55 being the nature of that road, the condition of that
a lot
road.
of these roads are designed by, whether it's the speed limits or the markings, these are done by traffic engineers, and a lot of times we have to bring things to their attention. But again, we are so diverse in Oneida County. Between that, we have, Amish buggies all over the place. You've got farm equipment out there. You've got tractor trailers. You've got a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So again,
I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to apologize in advance for driving over the cones off Court Street in Utica. I'm sorry. But I had ordered a 16-foot budget rental truck, and they gave me a 24. And I told my wife as I was following her down 12, north on 12, all I care about is I don't want to go through any construction. I said we could take 5 back to the valley, whatever it takes. And she thought it would be easier to get off at Court Street. Meanwhile, I'm driving this 24-foot truck trying to make a turn onto Court Street. There's cones and there's people, and it was terrible. I just closed my eyes and turned, and I shouldn't have done that.
It's definitely scary, and again, like I said, we just want folks to take a few extra minutes and just let's get back to taking our time getting places.
Or get a 16-footer.
Or get a smaller truck.
Yeah, it might be the idea for me. So you have, on a positive note, you have some good news.
Yes, I just want to take a minute to thank all the folks who supported the New York State Sheriff's Association membership drive this past year. It's $25 to be a member, honorary member of the New York State Sheriff's Association, and the hundreds of people who became members in Oneida County this year, like they do every year, that money is used to pick 10 kids from Oneida County who otherwise wouldn't be able to go anywhere this summer on a vacation due to financial constraints. They got to spend a whole week. They just came back this past weekend, a whole week at the New York State Sheriff's summer camp. It's on Cayuga Lake. 6 fun-filled educational days. Swimming, fishing, kayaking, sailing. Archery. They learn all about the positive things in positive things about the outdoors. Also, they learn things about staying away from drugs and all that. It's just a very positive thing, and it would not be possible without the support of the people from here in Oneida County. So again, thank you to all of them.
One last question: can you sell pot pipes to minors?
Good question. I'm assuming that.
Talk about a left out from lleft field question, but
yeah.
I have a personal
what's the
story
story?
that
What's the story?
I witnessed a guy selling a pot pipe at a graduation party.
Really? I'm going to guess, off the cuff without researching, obviously the marijuana would be illegal.
But I think the pot pipe is probably legal.
The tobacco product for those under 18 is illegal, but the device itself probably is not illegal to sell. But I'd have to do a little research. But off the cuff, I'd say he probably may be inappropriate, but not illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll mention my trip to South Carolina again. Gas stations down there sell these glass pipes.
Yeah.
Right over the counter.
Right over the counter.
Right, like next to the lotto
And they're
tickets.
not necessarily pot pipes, right?
Yeah, well, they're glass pipes. They could be for tobacco.
Yeah, okay. Right. But probably inappropriate out of the back of your car at a graduation party. I would say.
Well, and they're not for sale as marijuana paraphernalia.
No,
they're supposedly used for tobacco.
I get it. I'm not a prude. I'm just thinking. I don't know that it's cool to be selling it to a 16-year-old.
Not cool at all.
Probably not.
Out of the back of a car when you're 70 years old. Out of the back of a car. I mean, give me a freaking break. That's all I'm saying about that. All right, Sheriff.
Very good. Thank you
You'll
for having me.
You'll always get a few side stories from us.
I should know better. To always be ready for something.
Thank you for it. Again,
thank you very much.
Common sense out on the highways.
Absolutely, common sense.
Got a break. Hold tight. It's WIBX.